Hello, Mustangs. In this episode of Red, Blue, and You, we'll be having another exciting discussion about the SMU Pathways to Business and Industry initiative. The aim of our PBI major and career exploration episodes is to introduce you to students, alumni, and professors that can advise you about common PBI majors and minors. There are several majors and minors in Dedman College of Humanities and Sciences, Lyle School of Engineering, Meadows School of the Arts, and Simmons School of Education and Human Development. In this episode, we will be exploring a major in the Meadows School of Arts, specifically business journalism and media entrepreneurship. And in this episode, we will be hearing from Professor Jake Batzel, William J. O'Neill Chair in Business Journalism, and Elizabeth Guevara, a class of 2024 graduate with a Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and minor in Graphic Design. I'm excited for us to dive into this conversation today with you both. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Really happy to be here.
Elizabeth, we'll start with you. How did you choose your major?
I chose my major a long time ago in high school, I would say. I was in my high school newspaper, and I just found that I really had an interest in journalism. And so when I got into college, I actually went to Collin College at first. And then I wanted to transfer to a place that had a pretty good journalism school. Out of all of the schools that I toured around the area, I felt that SMU's journalism school was the best fit for me.
Perfect. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So what was your experience as a journalism major, and what on-campus resources and opportunities were available for you?
I had a wonderful experience at SMU. I feel like the journalism school, especially at SMU, it's very small, but in a good way, and that's something that I really wanted, and it's something that I looked for when touring schools. I feel like you get to know your professors and your advisors very, very well. And then, as part of a couple clubs, one of the biggest things was the SMU Daily Campus, which is the school newspaper here. I got to meet a lot of great people, got to have a lot of great experiences, and I really feel like that helped me, secure jobs and internships in the future, and that was really something good to have on my resume.
How were you able to explore your passions by serving on the SMU Daily Campus?
There was a lot of ways. I think something also helpful, the SMU Daily Campus is also a very small organization, but that's kind of good because you get to wear a lot of hats and you get to explore a lot of different things. One of the other things, one of my minors is in graphic design, which is something that I got to explore at the SMU Daily Campus because I got to do graphic design for our print issues that we did every semester, which was a lot of fun. And then, I got to try on different hats. I got to do different kinds of stories. I got to do different editorial roles. And then, just being able to work with other students in like the capacity of like a newsroom, because we have a class that acts as sort of our editorial, like newsroom meetings. I feel like it's just really helpful for me.
Perfect. Thank you. So during your studies at SMU, what mentors and internship programs had a positive impact on your experience?
There was a lot. I had a lot of professors. Professor Batzel was really helpful for getting me involved in business journalism. He's really the one who shepherded me into this way of journalism. And then I had my advisor for the newspaper, Professor Fellows. She was really helpful for me as well. Really led me and showed me how to be a good leader. And then with all of that, I was able to do some internships. I did an internship with SMU Financial Literacy one summer, and then in the fall of last year, I was able to be an intern at the Dallas Morning News on their business news desk, which was a super rewarding experience. And from the work that I did there, I got an award for it. It was SABU. It's the Society for Advancing Business Editing and Writing.
Got it.
It's a very long name. But yeah, I got an award for some of the work that I did there. And then got to go to Chicago with Professor Batzel as well and receive my award there, which was really awesome and super rewarding.
Awesome. Thank you, Elizabeth. Professor Batzel, I'm going to ask you a few questions from a professor's point of view. Why should a first-year student that is interested in business major in journalism?
Sure. Well, I think any soul who has a curiosity about business can really feed that curiosity in creative ways through journalism. Journalism teaches you how to research, to ask questions, to explain complicated terminology to general audiences. And what students like Elizabeth have the chance to do with business journalism at SMU is learn about it and then explain business to your peers, first through student media, and then through internships as well to general audiences. So it's just a way to really dive into the world of business, but then translate what you learn to wider audiences. I could share lots of examples of recent students who have done that. We had a student do a profile of an NFT artist and how you make a living creating NFTs and selling them. We had a student during the pandemic, during the lockdown stage when we were all at home, do a story about how Disneyland workers in her home area of Southern California were faring during the pandemic when they had no jobs to go to because Disneyland was shut down. And then we had Elizabeth talking about the work that she did for the Dallas Morning News, but did an incredible story looking at the resumption of student loan payments and how that was affecting early career professionals. So really, we do have an O'Neill program in business journalism that's available to any journalism or fashion media student who's also majoring or minoring in business. But really, all of these opportunities are available to any journalism or fashion media student, as Elizabeth can attest to, because business is just an incredible topic to cover. Every story relates to money somehow. I really feel like business is one of the most exciting areas of journalism you could possibly get into.
Awesome. Thank you, Professor Batzel. I see students can really have a wide range within journalism discussing finance or business. So thank you for that. My next question for you is, so since spots are limited for the O'Neill program that you just mentioned, what are some other options available for students interested in business and finance journalism?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one is that any journalism or fashion media student can take my business and journalism course, Journalism 4306. You take on a public company as your beat and dig into their financial statements, listen to the executive conference calls, get familiar with the rhythms of Wall Street and analyst expectations and calculating percentage change year over year. So it actually satisfies the quantitative applications proficiency for the Common Curriculum. So it's definitely a numbers-heavy class, but it's also a writing-heavy class. Students really they learn more about personal finance. They also write business feature stories on topics that are relatable to their students and get them published. That class, really emphasizes the power of business journalism to explain the economy to general audiences and to humanize them. So that class is one way, but we also have an O'Neill lecture in business journalism every spring. We had Eric Gillen, the chief business officer for U.S. Revenue for Condé Nast this year. The prior year, we had Michelle Singletary, the award-winning personal finance columnist for the Washington Post. We have a lot of guest speakers coming back, networking opportunities. There's some plans in the works for maybe a field trip to the Federal Reserve of Dallas in the fall for O'Neill program students, but really any students who are interested in business journalism to come along. So lots of ways to get involved, whether you are or are not officially in the O'Neill program.
All right. Thank you for discussing those skill sets that students can gain from the program. So how can students explore entrepreneurship in media?
Well, I would say another way is to take another class that I teach, which is Journalism 3355, Media Entrepreneurship. What we do in that class is really kind of view entrepreneurship through the lens of digital media creation. And each student launches their own, they pitch their own entrepreneurial project. They develop it throughout the semester using the business model canvas structure and initially pitch their ideas to their peers. The peers vote for what they consider to be the top 3 most viable ideas in the class, and then it becomes a team competition that culminates in a big Shark Tank style night pitch contest with the grand prize being a $60 gift card to Torchy's Tacos for the winning team, with guest judges from around SMU. And we really do have some amazing entrepreneurial energy at SMU, where students who have interest in entrepreneurship can participate in the Big Ideas competition or the business plan competition through the Office of Engaged Learning. And I've had some students, take the projects from that class and then bring them to campus competitions and do pretty well and receive some funding to continue to develop those ideas. So I would just say, if you're interested in entrepreneurship, also just come talk to me, because even if the class doesn't line up with your particular degree plan, there's just lots of pockets of entrepreneurial energy on campus that I'm sort of plugged into, because I'm really passionate about it, and I really feel like students should be equipped with the skills to eventually become their own boss someday, whether that's as a typical Silicon Valley startup, or working as an entrepreneur doing entrepreneurial things for larger organizations, or even as a freelancer. Because that's when you're freelancing, you are your own boss, and you have to be entrepreneurial in your approach that way as well.
I love it. I love how you've described all of the ways that students can dive into entrepreneurship through media. So thank you. So now we're going to move into our rapid fire frequently asked questions. So Professor Batzel, are you ready?
I'm ready. I came with statistics.
All right. Our first question. What are the advantages of a career in business journalism compared with other types of journalism?
A big reason why business journalism is so attractive is salary. The Reynolds Center for Business Journalism at Arizona State University does an annual salary survey with members of SMU, the organization that Elizabeth won her award from. And the last survey showed that business journalists in the United States earn nearly $30,000 more than their peers compared to the national median. And actually, for journalists under 30, the median salary was about $65,000, which is much higher than the national overall median for reporters in the mid 40s. So that's one big reason. There's also more stable work hours when you're covering the business world. You don't have to go cover fires in the middle of the night, or huge, big breaking news events. But also, just the most compelling stories in journalism involve money. You're talking about sports, streaming, NIL deals, politics. It all comes down to money. These are the stories that really matter to people, and a lot of times the best business stories too are really just about human resilience and human frailty. So anyway, just so much compelling storytelling material. So you'll make more money, you'll have more control over your schedule, there's more demand for your skills, and it's not just mindless numbers. It's there's so much opportunity for really, really compelling storytelling as well.
Thank you. So our next rapid fire question, if I'm a student, how can I get involved with the O'Neill program?
I would say the short answer to that is just contact me and let's talk. You can certainly, as a journalism or fashion media student, take my business journalism course, and there are other ways that I can point you in certain directions, knowing that you have an interest in business journalism, like our internship programs with the Dallas Morning News. We also have a fairly new partnership with Forbes Media aimed at helping to diversify the field of business journalism. And basically, just if you know that you have an interest in business journalism and you express that to me, I sometimes will just send opportunities your way as they cross my radar. And one example of that was in Elizabeth's case. I had her in a previous class and knew that she was working for the Financial Literacy Office, heard about the Bloomberg Diversity Journalism program in New York City, where it's 1 week of learning about business journalism from some of the best, including Michael Bloomberg himself and many other Bloomberg business journalists, learning about how the economy works and how the stock market works. Elizabeth was our first ever student who was selected for that nationally competitive program. I'd like to think, Elizabeth, that had an effect on getting you excited about pursuing a career in business journalism.
I think it definitely did. Going to New York was an amazing experience.
Awesome. Thank you. So it sounds like the O'Neill program is a program that's very fit for several students, regardless of their major. So my next rapid fire question for you is, what have recent O'Neill program or business and finance journalism alumni accomplished in their careers so far?
Yeah, that's an exciting question to answer. We had one recent alumna, Jenny Rudolph, who graduated in 2022, who went to work as a business and economic development reporter for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. We also have students go on to work for places like J.P. Morgan Chase and Goldman Sachs, consulting companies like Boston Consulting Group and Accenture. Some students just go into other areas of journalism. They enjoy and take full advantage of business journalism opportunities, but then as they get out into the professional world, they kind of go in different paths.
Great. Thank you, Professor Batzel. All right, Elizabeth, are you ready for your rapid fire questions?
I'm ready.
So, what was your favorite journalism class?
Okay, not to toot Professor Batzel's horn, but I did really enjoy business journalism. I feel like students really underestimate the usefulness of learning about business journalism. And not only did we learn about business journalism in that class, we also learned about personal finance, which can be translated just to in your general life and can help you be more successful in your own personal finances. Every single thing that you are going to be writing about in journalism is going to have some sort of tie to business or to money. And so even taking that one business journalism class, even if you're not, pursuing a career in business journalism, just having that background in business journalism can really help you understand how these companies and how these people that you're going to be covering in the future, why they are doing the things they are doing, because it's mostly, motivated by money and business in the end.
All right, my second question for you. What student organizations or clubs were you a part of that aligned with your major interest?
So I would say the main one I talked about before is the SMU Daily Campus. If you are a journalism student, I would say just being in any student publication is just essential. If it's SMU Look, if it's Hilltop Now, if it's SMU Daily Campus, I feel like just having that experience was really essential to me. But there's also other things like finance clubs and engaged learning things that people can be a part of, which can really help them get to where they want to be.
Okay, thank you. So how did the campus resources that you mentioned, such as Hagee Career Center or the University Advising Center, help you forge your career path?
In a lot of ways. When I first started at SMU, everyone told me, get an advising appointment at Hagee Career Center. That's the first thing that you want to do to start off a good career. And so I did that, and they helped me create a resume, which I still use today. I update it every time I have something major that needs to be updated. But they helped me start that. They helped me start, my LinkedIn profile, which is more essential than I would have thought it would have been. In the financial literacy program, we also partnered with Hagee a lot to do our financial literacy workshops. So they have a lot of different workshops, career fairs, different things that students can really take advantage of.
So thanks, Elizabeth. So you mentioned some recent freelance work. Are there any recent publications you'd like to mention?
I did. I'm freelancing right now for Investopedia. I am their personal finance news freelancer. And so I recently published a story on Investopedia. You can find it on the personal finance news side of the site. And it was essentially about how people are still traveling this summer, even though inflation has gone higher. And that was a really fun thing to do because I got to interview, people that I knew, mutual friends that I had. And it was something where it was numbers based, and I did have to dig into CPI and the economy and inflation, and I had to learn a lot about that. But I also got to, find a more humanistic approach to it, which was really fun. So I have been doing some freelancing for them and hope to do more in the future.
Okay, so tell us one more time. If our students and families want to check out your recent publication, where can they find it?
Investopedia on the personal finance news section.
All right. Thank you so much, Elizabeth and Professor Batzel, for joining me today. Students and parents, we hope you enjoyed learning more about one of the many majors and career paths that PBI students are exploring, and our goal of providing you access to internship programs, guiding you to explore potential majors, and connecting you to relevant classes tailored to your interests and career goals. SMU Pathways to Business and Industry will serve as a bridge for students, empowering you with resources and support geared towards your professional aspirations. Once you arrive on campus, you will be able to explore PBI-related events and SMU 360, our campus-wide event and organization platform. For more general information about PBI or to visit us in person, the Office of Engaged Learning is in Clemens Hall in the Scholars Den, GO7B. In the meantime, to learn more and to join PBI, visit the webpage at smu.edu/PBI. Until next time, Mustangs, pony up.